Welcome to the Black Belt Business Podcast. My name is Matthew Brenner, and I am with Adam Kifer of Move Martial Arts and Relentless Media Agency. Adam, what's up? Good to see you.
Hey, great to see you again, man. Thanks for having me back. I guess I didn't do that bad on the first time.
No, not terrible. People said that maybe I should have you on again, and I know
Yeah,
that
I,
right
I
now I
believe
think
him.
you're doing some consulting for someone. So I think you're in like a martial arts storage or fitness facility closet, which is so on
Yeah, so
brand for our industry.
100%. Yeah, I'm at Home Fitness in Scottsdale. I was doing some training with their manager and their team today, and I was like, this is the quietest spot to have it. So I am surrounded by washing machines and microwaves and all the things.
So how different is it working with like a fitness brand versus a martial arts brand?
Um, there's a lot of similarities, honestly, because business problems are business problems regardless of the type of business. Um, there's definitely different areas of focus between a martial arts school and a fitness studio. I think martial arts is a little bit more, and I'm obviously working with like franchises, so it's a little bit different. But martial arts are more of like the E-Myth story, and I'm sure you know that from working with martial arts schools. Like
Yeah.
the passion they have for martial arts is not the same passion you necessarily see on the fitness side.
Hmm.
But the fitness side, I also feel like sees it more as a business. So they're more aware of like best practices for lead generation and different things. And it's funny. I would say martial arts focuses on retention more, and fitness focuses more on acquisition.
Mm.
And then the retention is a byproduct. Although the studio I'm in right now, they had a 3% attrition last month, so they're doing pretty good.
Damn. Okay, that'd be like, I don't know, like top of the industry for martial arts. I know some people have lower, or at least they claim they have lower,
Yeah,
but 3% is obviously really good.
yeah. Industry average for fitness, I think, is like 8%, which I'm
Yeah.
sure martial arts is pretty close to that.
So how do they keep it so low? Is there anything they're doing that you're like, oh, we should do this for martial arts?
For this location specifically, they had terrible attrition for months. Uh, we put a new manager in place, and she's the difference maker right now. I can name any member, and she can tell me like their entire story, like what they did last weekend, like what they do for work. She just has such a good relationship with each individual member and knows exactly why they're here, what they want to get out of it. Like we did like a one-on-one today, and she was just telling me like everything about all the members, and I'm like, that's why we have 3% attrition. Like
Yeah.
that they're signing up for the community and the tribe here, not just the workout.
So do you think every martial arts school should have an employee like that? Because the head instructor can't always have those
Yeah.
conversations, right? So do you think every school should have a program director or something similar like that, where they're just building rapport the whole time?
So there should always be a manager and head coach, in my opinion, as two separate roles. But it really, to me, it shouldn't be relying on one person. I think in this instance here, she's newer, so she just rocking at it. And then the next phase is her teaching the rest of the team how they do that exact same thing. Because I also think the problem is when it's completely relying on one person, what happens when you lose that person?
Yeah,
Like then all the
yeah, it's over.
relationships are gone with it. So that's why it's like so important to like role play with your teams, just how to talk to parents, because most of the young instructors are amazing at connecting with kids, but put them in front of a parent and they're like, I don't know how to talk to a parent. Like they have so much more experience than me. How am I supposed to tell them about their kid? What they don't realize is parents also don't know what they're doing either. There's no handbook for raising a kid, and a lot of the experience that martial arts instructors have with just helping kids overcome challenges, like parents need that information. So I think it's about training your entire team to be able to build that rapport and learn about people. And one of the things that we do is like the end of shift debrief that everyone on the team has to do at the school. They all have to put like, hey, what's something you learned about a parent today? What's something you learned about a student today? And then they tell the story in there. And the cool thing is the rest of the team sees that, so they get to know these people more just through the information they're getting. So now when I see Mr. Smith next time, and I just saw that Declan learned that he just started a new job, I can right away be like, hey, I was just talking to Coach Declan. He told me he started a new job. How's it going? And then we can sort of continue to build off of that.
That's beautiful. So is that through text message at the end of the night? Is that through Slack? Like, what do you guys
Slack.
actually use?
Yeah, we use
Okay.
Slack.
And then how do you actually train your 20-year-old instructor to have a conversation with the parent? Because I remember when I first started, I was about 21 when I opened up my first school. And I remember thinking that same exact thing of like, I'm so young.
Mhm.
Why am I talking about their kids? I don't have kids. Like, it felt weird and awkward. It took me a while to kind of get past that. So how do you teach a 20-year-old to do that?
Yeah, I remember that same exact phase. For us, it starts with role playing on just how to have a conversation to begin with.
How to
So
talk.
like yeah, literally that's what we role play, and I just did a bunch of like site tours over the last 3 weeks with different martial arts schools, and this is like one of the things we did. And I got the show from Kelly, so shout out to her. But we just do a question game where they all pair up with someone. One person asks questions to the other person for 60 seconds, and the goal is like we don't want it like an awkward first date where you're like, "Hey, what'd you do this weekend?" And like saw a movie, and then they're like, "What's your favorite pizza topping?" Like we don't want it to go all over. We want to keep peeling back layers on the conversation is what we teach them, and then afterwards we go around and be like, "All right, give me 2 things you learned about your partner," because we got to make sure that they're also like actively listening and not just thinking about what to say next. And then we will just continually have them switch partners, and we'll go for 10 minutes where they have a whole bunch of conversations with the other team members, and then layer one of that is like, all right, guys, we're going to do a contest for the next 4 weeks of parent engagement, and what you just did with each other, where you're asking questions and learning about each other, you're just going to do that same thing with parents, and then we will create a separate like Slack channel for them to post what they're learning from parents each day, and every post gets them a point, and then we raffle off like $100 Amazon gift card or whatever they're interested in at the end of the month. And that way it incentivizes them to actually start doing that. And then the second part is we start training them on how to give progress talks with the parents, where every single class they should do at least one parent progress talk between class. So we'll start role playing that of just going up to the parent and be like, "Hey, can I give you some feedback on Johnny today?" And then there's a whole formula. They start about talking about what he was struggling with, the improvement that we gave that kid, and how much better he was doing by the end of the time, and then just like leaving off with, "Hey, I'm super proud of him." And then after they get that down, then we also be like, "Hey, we're gonna add a drill that you're gonna show the parents where they can help their child actually get better at it at home." So that's sort of like the 3 layers that we go through of getting them comfortable talking to parents.
I mean, I love that it's like gamified. 'Cause I feel like, especially
Yeah,
if you're a teenager or young 20s, like anything that's gamified competition, they're going to get into.
100%. And we do a separate contest for part timers and full timers just to make it fair, because obviously the full timers have a lot more opportunity to talk to more parents than the part timers,
Yeah. Oh,
but they
because you
get
do a separate
competitive.
competition or a
Yes,
separate
yeah,
award. Oh, okay.
yeah. So we'll do a raffle for each one, same prize, but we do full timers against full timers, part timers against part timers.
Cool. And I know it sounds like you have a system for progress checks, but if you're listening to this now and you're like, hey, how do I do a progress check? If you send me an email, Matthew@wdojo.com, I'll send it over to you for free. We have like an 8-step
Look at that.
student progress check. It's probably similar to something that you have.
Yeah,
But a good
that's
way to
awesome.
give structured conversation so that way they're not just like kind of stuck.
Yes.
My favorite question in the world, and I got this from the book How to Talk to Anyone by Leo Lowndes. I don't know if I'm saying her name correctly, but I read it when I was a teenager, and because I would always go to when I was in college, I would go to these networking events, right? And networking events are super awkward, right?
Yes.
And if you're really good and sociable, then like maybe it's like super smooth and easy. And I think like I'm pretty good at that, but I would still feel awkward because what happens is you go to talk to someone and you're like, oh, what do you do? That's what everyone always asks, right? And they say if they love their job, then they'll say they'll talk about their job and talk about it a lot. If they don't, they'll give you a one-word answer. They
Yep.
might say, I work in insurance, and like then it kind of just kills the conversation. So like her strategy that I've borrowed over and over and over again to talk to parents is, so how do you like to spend your free time? And when they tell you how they like to spend their free time, they'll tell you things they actually enjoy talking about because that's what they use in their
Yes.
free time. So they'll talk more about it, tell you about how they like hiking or doing jujitsu or painting or whatever. But they'll actually tell you about that topic. And if they love their job, they'll tell you about their job because that's what they love doing as well. So
Love that.
really good open-ended conversation. It's so easy whether you're using it for dating or for networking or talking to a parent. How do you like to spend your free time? Super
We just
easy.
start with what's your social security number. That's our
That's good.
that, that.
I prefer to get the credit card, but if you want Social Security,
Yeah.
you're going full fraud. Oh my god.
I'm joking,
Uh,
guys. Do not ask that question.
no, don't ask their social. Just ask for the ACH bank information. Credit card is
Yes.
you don't want
You
chargebacks.
don't want
All
the
right,
fees.
so, all right, cool. So I know that like last time when I saw you, we got on here, you were freshly bald. It was like brand new.
Oh yeah,
You
that's
like
right.
just shaved your
That's
head.
right.
I didn't even recognize you. It came off for a second. I thought it was a different person. I was like,
That's funny.
okay, cool. So like I'm just curious, like personally, like what are the benefits of being bald? Maybe you didn't anticipate.
Oh, dude, aerodynamic. I can run like 10% faster. Um,
Are you running from leopards or something?
yeah, you know what's funny is I've never gotten this before in my life, but the number of people that ask me if I'm a pastor or a youth pastor has like 10x. I never got asked that before in my life. I'll be out at a restaurant somewhere and like talking to the waitress or waiter and like randomly they're like, hey, weird question, are you a youth pastor? And I'm like, I was like, I guess I give off those vibes now. I don't know. I think it's just easier to maintain. Like I don't have to worry about messy hair ever, which is awesome. So that part is great. Yeah, I don't know. It's just easier.
Is there any downside? You getting like sunburn in sunny Arizona, just like every time you go
Yeah.
outside?
So the first time I went outside, like for a long period of time, I didn't even think about putting like sunscreen on my head. And then like I got like major sunburn where my like skin was peeling and stuff. And I was like,
Oh
all right, I
god.
got to be better about that. And then like cut yourself shaving on your head once in a while, but nothing. And you got to shave like every 2 days, pretty much. So,
Every two
but
days to keep it clean.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So I know that at least from what I see on social media, that you've grown a lot closer to God
Yeah,
and the church, and I think since your whole public event where you're kind of dragged through the mud, and we don't need to get into the
that was
details of
fun.
that. I think that's been talked about enough.
Sure.
Um, but like, were you a religious person before that, or did that kind of draw
Yeah.
you to it?
No, so my parents were not religious. My grandma, who I was super close with, was like the closest person I've ever seen to God. Like straight up conversations all day, and she would like say some stuff that would rock your world. Where you're just like, how did you know about that, or how did you know that happened? And I went to Christian school growing up, but uh, in my opinion, growing up, I was always just told you're supposed to read the Bible because it's what you're supposed to do, and that this is the right thing to do.
Oops.
She was like super religious in the sense that when like here's a great example when my wife and I decided we're going to move to New York to go work for I Love Kickboxing. We hadn't told anyone yet. Like literally, we're the only two people on the planet besides like Nick and Michael that knew we were moving. And we went to go tell my grandma. And as soon as we walk in the door, she goes, "Are you guys moving?" And I like looked at my wife. I'm like, "Did you tell her?" She goes, "No." And I'm like, "Grandma," I go, "How did you know that we were moving?" And she goes, "The Lord told me." And it was just like you get goosebumps, like, and that stuff would happen all the time with her. Like my tattoo, like the verse on my hand is Proverbs 3:5 because she used to tell me that verse like every time I'd see her. Um, so in that sense, like I had a relationship with God as far as what I was taught to do, which was pray and read the Bible because you're supposed to do it. But I think going through everything last year just made me have a more personalized relationship with God. Um, there was a quote our pastor said at church where he goes, God lets life crush us so we stop relying on ourselves. And that hit home for me during all of that because like when I was at my lowest point during the year, it was just me and God having a super honest conversation. And uh, the interesting thing was like I never looked at it as like me being punished by God or anything like that. It was like I just knew God was like putting me through it to give me skills and tools and things that I needed to fulfill my calling that I hadn't built yet. So in that sense, my personal relationship with God got way closer as a result because like when you're afraid of losing everything, like what else are you going to rely on?
So does that bring you closer to your grandma when you're closer to God? Does it make you feel a stronger connection?
I think I always have felt a strong connection with her, like regardless. Like I lost my mom when I was 16, so she became like sort of the the woman motherly figure in my life after that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was a grandma's boy pretty much my whole life.
Okay. Is your grandma still with us or?
No, she lived to 102 years old. Uh,
Oh my God. Okay.
yeah, she passed away
Wow.
about 6 years ago. Right when right around the time I was moving to Arizona, she had passed away. But like 102, can't
That's
complain.
wild.
Yeah,
Bless her soul. Yeah.
yeah, and she was
So,
smart like till her last day. Like was doing complex math and everything just for fun.
wow. That's
Yeah,
cool. So, do you go to church every week, sort of thing, or
yeah.
how active are you in the church?
So I don't like volunteer and stuff like I used to. Like when we were in Chicago, we ran a small group. My wife and I, we were active and all that stuff. But now we attend. Kelly goes with us every week to church, and uh, yeah, we sit there worship. I read the Bible every morning. Listen to usually Philip Anthony Mitchell in the car or Taylor's Deep End podcast. So it is like one of the like biggest pieces out of my day is working on that relationship.
How do you feel like that impacts you as like a business owner?
Like it's the clarity that you get from it is the only thing I can describe it as supernatural. But I think like I believe that you get discernment when you uh, grow closer with God and your relationship grows closer and someone like and what I believe it's the Holy Spirit that gives you discernment. But I think that also carries over to your business because like a lot of times now when I have a business decision or something I need to do, I pray about it first. Like even today coming here, I was praying on the way in. I'm like, hey, just help me speak to the manager's heart there. Help me make sure that I'm using words that is able to connect with them and get them to see the vision that I'm trying to explain to them. And it almost it puts you in autopilot in a way, like in the best way possible. And then also like the times when like you come to a crossroads of this way or this way, it's just to me it just I don't know. There's something about it that just gives me the clarity that I didn't have as easily before. Like there's a
So,
spiritual sort of alignment that has happened within the business as well.
so how does that actually affect your actions? Like you just walk in there and you feel more clear headed, or you feel like you perform better? Like how does that actually impact you?
I feel like things come to me without having to have uh, preconceived thoughts about it as much. So like here's a great example that wasn't on the business side, but I made a post about everything I went through, like I don't know a few months ago, and I had all these people reaching out to me like telling me the craziest stories. And one of them was a former student of mine back in Chicago who reached out to me and said she just got out of an abusive marriage where her husband had been raping her for years and pretty much confining her to the house. And it was like one of like the hardest stories like I've ever read. I was like in tears reading it, and I remember sitting there and I was like, what do I say to this? Because like what she went through is so much worse than anything I've gone through. And I remember just praying to God, and then my like literally my hands just started typing, and some people are gonna be like, "This dude's crazy." My hands just started typing, and it like typed out this beautiful prayer like to her, and I just hit send, and that's sort of like what happens. I think sometimes on the business side of things, where it's like I pray about it, I go into the situation, and then it's just like autopilot, and it works out how it's supposed to work out. Um, I don't know the exact like mechanics behind it, but
Yeah.
it's just more the more I personally feel like I'm stepping into alignment with like God's calling for me, the more just easy it feels. Like I was talking to Kelly a couple weeks ago when we were out of town for a site visit, and I was like, I go for some reason running all three companies, and now I'm doing like franchise consulting a lot as well right now. Like all of that, even though I'm doing more than I've ever had at the same time, it just feels easier and just more seamless than it's ever been before.
Wow, that's cool. So, like, because I grew up in a not religious family, but I went to religious school, so I had like
Yep.
two very different parts of my life. Like at home, I like we didn't like I'm Jewish, right? So like we had at home we didn't keep kosher. We watched TV on the Sabbath. Um, we didn't really keep much of the holidays, but at school I went to an Orthodox school, so everyone was super religious, right? Only ate at certain restaurants, wouldn't touch a light switch on the Sabbath, all that stuff. So I've kind of gotten both ends, and I spent an entire year living in Israel in like a religious
Oh
school in
wow.
between high school and college. Yeah, so which is like the epicenter of the world for religion, right?
Yes.
Christianity, Muslims, like everyone, right? So I've always gone back and forth in terms of whether I believe in God, whether I don't believe in
Mm.
God, how much religion is in my life. And it's just interesting to see someone who I've never seen speak about God or religion and then it being prominent. Like my little brother's a rabbi. He's an Orthodox
Oh wow.
rabbi. So like I'm like very much like, and a lot of people I grew up with and I'm still friends with are Orthodox because that's where I went to school. So it's just interesting to see someone go from not, or at least from the outside looking in,
Yeah.
not as religious to like, oh, now I'm talking about God
Well,
publicly. So that's
you
why
know
I ask
what's
about
you know what's interesting is like for a majority of my life that I've been like doing like coaching and consulting, I felt God pulling me to like share more and tell my story. And I think I was just so worried about what other people were going to think or if I was going to lose clients because I started talking about it that I was just like not stepping in obedience and just pretty much wrestling with God on that constantly. And then I think part of like everything happening last year is I just stopped caring what other people thought. And like obviously people close to me, I still care about what they think, but I stopped doing things for other people and just started doing it for myself and what I wanted with my life. And that's when I was like, it almost gave myself permission to start talking about it.
it. That's cool. So do you feel better when you speak about it publicly? Like, all right, I'm not like hiding this part of myself.
No, like 100%. And then the number of people that have opened up more to me and just sent me like very personal messages just because they see me talking about it more or hear me talking about it more. That's been like the thing that's shown me that like, oh, people need to hear this. And I never want to push religion on anyone. I never want to tell anyone what to think. So I'll always just share my story and what I'm going through in the process. But just like the deep conversations I've had with people as a result of just talking about it more, it just reconfirms that I need to keep talking about it.
Would you ever go to Israel? Would you ever go to
Oh,
see
I'd love
the?
to. Yeah, 100%. Like that's on my bucket list. We're gonna wait till things calm down a little bit, but
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, just so you know, from someone who's been there many times, spent a lot of time there, A, it never really calms down. It's like
Okay.
always conflict. And B, as a tourist who also looks like a pastor like you, the youth pastor, like nothing, I mean, could something happen? Sure, but something could probably more likely happen in New York or something.
Okay. That's good to
Like,
know.
so it is, yeah, it's not as dangerous as you think it is. When you're there, it feels completely normal. It feels like you're in like Middle Eastern Miami in certain parts. When you're in the old city of Jerusalem, and it feels like you're in a different world. But the
Yeah.
other parts are, so yeah, highly recommend. And like one of the coolest things I think you could do, like no matter what religion you are, it's just like the epicenter. So
Yeah,
so
dude.
cool to
I
see.
want to go there so bad.
So do you try to like I don't know, influence your kids with religion? Because that could be tricky, right? They're either gonna like embrace it or they're gonna completely reject it. So how
Yeah.
do
So
you navigate that?
so again, I think we can set the example for them, but I don't think you can tell them what to do or well, tell them what to believe. So they go to church with us, and the cool thing is my kids are super curious about it. My youngest one, it's funny. He like talks about God and Jesus more than anyone. Like my kids will be talking like Michael Jordan's the best basketball player ever. My little guy's like not better than God. Like it's just always top of
Well,
mind. I'm like
Trump
true,
card. Yeah.
true. Um,
Yeah.
and then like the older two is interesting. I was talking to them for bed the other night, and they just started asking me a bunch of questions about God and the devil and heaven and hell and all this stuff. And we had like an hour and a half conversation, like chilling in their bed, just answering questions as best I could that they're asking me about God and the Bible and all this stuff. So I'll give them the information, I'll educate them, and I'll hopefully show by example, and then that they make the decision at the end of the day when they're adults and old enough to understand it.
Mm. Do you have like religion also be a part of like guiding how you, I don't know, treat your relationship with your wife? Like, is that part of
Yeah,
your relationship? Is your connection to God?
yeah, and I think more like religion to me is man-made, and I think the relationship with God is the thing that matters more than anything because being that religion on earth is run by humans, they're always going to mess it up. So when we put our, to me, when you put your faith in religion or put your faith like in the actual church, you're always going to be let down at some point. So I think that the relationship with God is more important, but absolutely, my wife is super faithful as well. She's like the moral compass of the family, 100%. But both of us like God first, each other second, and then the kids third, and we just sort of follow the principles of the Bible as best as we can. Obviously, we're flawed and make mistakes constantly, but
Sure.
yeah, we use that as sort of the North Star.
Yeah, cool. It's beautiful. Hope you don't mind me going to that
No,
topic.
no,
I'm
not at all, man.
really
I think
just
it's
curious
awesome.
to hear about it
Yeah.
because I know like that's very divisive, right? Like, like I get worried posting a Trump meme, right? Like,
Sure.
right, and like it's funny because like whether you support Trump or not, Trump memes are amazing content because he's like
He's the
insane
most
character.
entertaining president. Like, regardless of what side you're on, it's still entertaining.
Yeah, exactly. Total cartoon character. So Trump memes are amazing, but I always get nervous posting it. Then eventually, I'm like, I don't care. Whatever. People don't gonna unfollow me or lose me as a
Yeah,
client. But it's not good. But most people, I think, take it somewhat softly. But I feel like religion and politics are those two divisive areas. It's like,
I
do I
agree.
talk about it? Do I not? And
I just think like the most important thing is regardless of what you believe, just love everyone regardless,
yeah.
and like it'll work out.
Has there been a time where you didn't believe in God at all?
I don't know if there's ever been a time I didn't believe in God. Have I doubted like that there's a God? Sure. Like I think that's pretty normal in anyone's like spiritual journey. There's been doubts. There's been arguments. There's like even as I read the Bible now, there's constant questions that pop up in my head where I'm like, well, like good example, Old Testament God, New Testament God, like split personalities. What's going on there? So it's just like those things. Here's the thing: ChatGPT has been awesome for that too. Like if I have a question, like I trained a theology channel in ChatGPT, and if I
Mhm.
have a question about the Bible or need more understanding, I'll just ask for ChatGPT's like explanation of it,
Mm.
um, and that's helped a lot just on the like theological understanding of some of the things that I'm reading. But there's still like questions I have, and when you're trying to understand like an infinite being, like we're always going to have questions regardless.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you also believe that ChatGPT is God because I also believe in that as well. So I'm glad we're on the same page.
I don't know if I'll say that, but it knows a lot.
It definitely knows a lot. So, like, I know last time we talked about different like strategies we use for ChatGPT
Yeah.
or tricks. Is there anything new that you've been using besides the theology one for your business as we kind of transition
Yeah,
out of that topic?
you know what? One of the most powerful ones is if you have like a number two person in your business, whether it's like school owner, manager, business partner, whatever. So Kelly and I, in our own chat GPTs, we have separate ones. I put in mind to like, hey, based on everything you know, like describe me, and it did that. She did the same thing in hers, and we took each other's and pasted it into each other's chat GPTs. And then we started asking it like, hey, based on everything you know about Kelly, what is the best things, what are the things that we both need to do better to work better cohesively and reach the goals that we've set to ourselves. And the funny thing is it like gave us this full out plan, which was awesome. And then based on that, I was like, create our meeting agenda based on this to make sure that we're always hitting the things that we need to each week when we meet to ensure that we're going in the right direction. So then we had to build out the meeting agenda based on that. And then we've even asked it questions like, I'm like, I had Kelly ask her GPT for her like 5 biggest weaknesses that's stopping her from being successful. I did the same thing with mine, and then I put hers into mine, and I was like, how do I better support Kelly in these 5 areas to make sure that she's not feeling stressed or overwhelmed, and that I'm supporting her in the right way. And then it did such a good job. It was like, stop doing this, stop telling her this, start doing this, and for both of us, it like literally made us like on the same page within a few weeks. Like it's weird. We almost think each other's thoughts a lot of times now on the business side of things, just because of a lot of the insights we got just from going through that process in ChatGPT.
That's really cool. Have you ever? And I'm sure you've done something like a Myers Briggs or
Yeah,
Enneagram
yeah,
sort of personality test. Like what I did for me is something similar. What you did is more comprehensive. I like that better. But I updated my Enneagram into ChatGPT. That way, it knows my style. So when it tells me things, it does it based on my style. And then, I mean, my writing style goes through my Enneagram. But a lot of time, but if you're listening, Enneagram is like a personality test. It probably costs $15, and you
ENTJ.
should. What'd you say?
So I think about ENTJ.
ENTJ, yeah. The Enneagram is a number. I'm like a 3 and an 8 or something like that.
Okay, so you
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
Yeah, I think I did the 15 personalities one, maybe.
yeah. There's a bunch of different ones, but
Yeah.
that's the one we've used. So if you haven't done it yet for your staff, you should do one of those personality
Yep.
tests. I think they work super well. And I even like save on my phone for like our teammates. Like I'll save like Danielle 3, Stefan 9. That way, when I go to talk to them, I'll ask ChatGPT, hey, this person's a 9. I want to say this. What's the best way for me to communicate that? And it's so on point and
Yes.
amazing. Like it's like silly not to use it. And it's super super powerful. So you should really know everyone's communication style, so you can just better communicate, right, with
Yeah, I
everyone.
agree.
Um, okay, cool. So now, any other chat GPT tricks you're using, whether it's to promote your school? I know
Uh,
we'll get into organic because I know I attended one of your webinars. I want to talk about that too,
yeah.
and we'll
Uh,
get into the organic side. But what about AI stuff?
yeah, Manus I've been using a lot as well. I don't know if you use Manus AI yet.
Uh-uh.
That's pretty cool because it can create micro websites like insanely fast. Apps, it's still like a little far away from creating full fledged apps. But like one of the things we use it for is like for this place I'm at right now. They were going through a process with this like spreadsheet and having their head trainer fill in programming for every single class, and they have to do it like in 15-second blocks the way they set it up. So a 30-minute class, you have to go through and fill out a spreadsheet for 15-second blocks. It's a lot of work and super time consuming. So in Manus, we just created a website where you upload all the possible exercises into, and then it just randomizes the workout based on like the parameters you give. So like it literally replaced the whole person's job essentially with a
Oh,
micro
great! Look at
site.
you.
But
Oh,
but
nice.
yeah, but
Taking people's jobs.
so I'm
This is how it
consulting for them,
starts.
saving them money, right? Um, but yeah, it was like that thing was pretty cool, and it didn't take long. What else? God, I feel like we use things so much. I built out a copywriter for this franchise that we're consulting for right now, so that way all the franchisees have a custom GPT that they're using for the copywriting and the brand guideline. Um,
How much stuff do you upload to ChatGPT to do that? Like, I'm always curious, like how much I should put in there. I usually copy and paste as much as I can until I don't feel like doing it anymore, but I never know what's actually enough.
So what I've found is for consistency, creating it as a custom GPT instead of training the channel works better in a lot of ways. Like for my personal development stuff, theology stuff, I just have channels for those. But like we have like a GPT that builds out SOPs. We have a GPT that does like brand copywriting where it asks you a bunch of questions and you put it in. And we find that the consistency stays longer over time through the custom GPT as opposed to like just building it in a channel. Because I'm sure you've seen it as well with like channels where like you get to a certain point and then they start like veering off course and you're like whoa, like I don't want you going that way. I want you to come back and focus on this. So that's been big. I think I talked to you about you last time. We do like we have a spreadsheet that all of our clients fill out that tracks all their KPIs. So like we'll load it into the GPT and like I had it create a whole spreadsheet based on our clients' spreadsheets that gave us like the total ROI based on what they paid into the mastermind and what they've gotten out of it. Because I was like, let's make sure we're actually like what we're doing is working. so, so
Sure.
so like we upload all that and it gave us ROI. Any financial like analysis and stuff. Like I still have a financial advisor. I still have our CPA I talk to, but like I'll throw it in ChatGPT first just to be like, what angles am I missing and what holes am I missing in it, which is great. And then I'll also use it. Man, I use it for probably copywriting more than anything. Like I was at a Russell Brunson seminar last month, and I literally took my notes from the seminar, threw it in a new channel, and I was like, I want you to rewrite our landing page based on all the rules that Russell Brunson talked about in these notes, and then it came up with like this amazing copy. Um, the other one, I'm almost done writing a book right now, so I actually used it. I was like, hey, I want you to act as a ghostwriter. And I want you to ask me, I go, here's all the chapters. I want you to ask me 20 questions per chapter that a ghostwriter would ask someone that's doing a book so that I can help organize my thoughts all in one place. And then it would ask me, I'd just talk into it while I was driving. And then it would start organizing all of that for me. Now, obviously, I'm still writing the book. I'm not having ChatGPT write it for me. But as far as just like getting my thoughts uh, in sort of a sequence that actually made sense, it was awesome for that.
Yeah, and I think there's so many creative ways to use it, and that's all. Whenever I hear another creative way like that, I'm like, oh, that's so smart. Like, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
Is there a certain person you follow? Is there a certain person you follow that, or I don't know, newsletter or something to stay on top of AI news or updates? Because I feel like overwhelmed a lot of times, and no matter how up to date I feel like I am on it, it doesn't matter. The next day, it's
Yeah. So honestly, more than that, it's usually like face to face conversations with people where we just start talking about how we're using it. That gets us like new things. Like Mike RC is a good friend of mine, and him and I get dinner once a month. And I'd say half of our dinner is talking about how we use ChatGPT and new things
okay.
we're trying out with AI and seeing people doing. The CEO of Fitness, who I'm consulting for right now, he's like a huge tech nerd. Like he used to be a CTO of Massage Envy, and him and I are like when we get in the room, we can nerd out about AI forever because he's using it for like 50 different things on this side. I'm using it on this side. So we're always just like teaching each other new things that we're doing with it. So that's probably where I get the most out of it. Perry Belcher is a good guy to follow on AI. He's like doing some pretty crazy stuff. He's on a mission to be the first $1 billion company with one employee is his goal.
I've heard that before. What's his name? Patty Belcher.
Perry Belcher, Perry. He's a good dude to follow. Alaric Heck is doing some cool things with the video AI. Those are like the main guys, and then there's like just some random people that like will do like a voice AI thing or like, yeah, just any and everywhere right now. Everyone's got something new.
Yeah, I just went to basically a social media, not marketing. It's just like organic content creation
Okay.
uh, conference, and there was all these people up there talking about how they created these YouTube channels basically from prompts with videos that are making
Yeah.
$5,000 to $10,000 a month, which is a like when they try to explain it, I truly don't understand it. I'm listening to them like there's like sounds like so many steps. Like I don't, it's not fluid enough yet. But B, YouTube just announced that if you use AI voice or a certain percentage of AI
Yep.
content or
I
something
just
in
saw
the
that.
video, they're monetizing it. So it's like, oh, you're out. So that stuff changes so quickly. It's kind of crazy. Um,
I wonder if they're
yeah,
going to revisit that in the future.
I'd assume so.
I think
But like, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think the other thing that's really important right now is when you're using AI, you got to make sure you're telling it not to act like AI. Because AI copy right now is so easy to see
Oh
just
yeah, yeah.
in how it's formatted in the three sentence like chunks. And
Uh-huh.
then the M dashes are used throughout. A lot of the words are very consistently across. So I think when you are training AI to write for you, you have to break it from normal habits. Like um, I tell it to like. So one thing I'm experimenting with right now is just completely having it break all norms of grammar and typical writing, and having it put like produce copy that way. And we're seeing in some of the tests that we're doing, we're seeing higher response rates and engagement rates doing that because people see it and they don't think AI is writing it. It just looks like one of the guys I work with has it actually make spelling mistakes on purpose in his writing. He's like, I want at least two words spelled incorrectly every time you give me an output. And part of the reason he's doing that is so someone looks at it and they're like, oh, someone wrote this. And we actually, it's funny, we're redoing like all our text message and email follow ups right now. And one of the companies I hired to sort of help us with the process, all they do is they do like lead nurturing for, I don't know, like 10,000 different businesses. So they have all this aggregate data on what's getting responses and stuff. And they're like, honestly, like one of the best working things as far as response rates is having spelling mistakes in your text messages,
Wow.
because most people just assume that it's automated. But when you have a spelling mistake in there, or you start the conversation with yo, or like something
Yeah.
different, then they
Yeah.
automatically assume it's a person right away.
Not a hey with a waving hand.
Yes,
Hey,
which
blah
everyone
blah blah
does.
here from blah 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 martial arts school.
100%.
Uh, I don't know about you, but whenever I start to read something, I mean, obviously I use ChatGPT a ton. Whenever I write a newsletter, which I do it 3 days a week, I first type out a giant block of information, and then I have ChatGPT
Yep.
like format it, so it's nice. But I'm always writing. I never say write this because it always comes out bad, poorly. But whenever I start to read anything from ChatGPT that clearly was copy and pasted from ChatGPT, like from someone, I just stop reading it immediately. I'm like, this is like
100%.
no effort whatsoever, especially if it has the hashtags. It's like no one uses hashtags
Yeah,
anymore.
you scroll to the bottom, there's 17 hashtags. You're like, nope.
Like, why?
Oh,
Let's go back. transition to the organic side. I mean, that's why people come to me, obviously.
Yeah,
Uh,
you're a rock
for
star at that.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So now we're in summertime, but you'll see me on social media do this giant push in August and September, for people to start setting up programs with their local schools. But I
Hmm.
attended one of your webinars, and you talked about how to get gift baskets raffles to businesses to collect leads. And I remember when I first started, the way you got leads from a business was you got the little boxes
The
where they
lead
put their name.
boxes, the Jimmy Mac lead box.
Yeah, and then they would put like half of them would say "Go f your mother" on them, like they
Yeah,
that would fill
or
them
like
out right. Like there'd be like a
drawing of
penis
the
written on
penis or
there.
something. Yeah,
Yeah,
yep,
exactly. And it was just like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And I
yep.
thought your strategy was so cool and so good. I took
Thank
a
you.
bunch of notes and a bunch of screenshots, and I obviously it would take another 2 hours to kind of go through that. But can you give us like a broad overview about how you collect leads through the organic strategy of putting gift boxes in businesses?
Yeah, to me, it is like the easiest way to get like boatloads of leads. It's funny. I was just teaching the manager of this location how to do that before this call.
Nice.
But essentially, here's the issue with lead boxes. No business owner wants to have a lead box in their business taking up real estate forever,
Right.
and that's where, because we remember when we put lead boxes up back in the day, you go check on it like a month later and it's gone,
Right.
or it's just like dusty and moved in a different place, right?
Yeah.
So the nice thing about this is you keep it up for 2 weeks, maybe 4 weeks max. But we'll go 2 weeks, and we put a basket together for us. We put our uniform, we put the boxing gloves, we put like a water bottle, a branded water bottle in there, a certificate for a free 30-day membership. And then the trick is when you go talk to the business owners about putting it in their business with the lead box next to it, you have to make it about them first of all, so and what they're going to get out of it. So we pitch it as like, hey, this is something really cool that we do in a lot of businesses that's actually going to reward every single person that shops with you. Okay, so that's incentive number one is, hey, it's rewarding people that pay you money. Secondly, I'm going to buy a $25 gift card from your business and put it in the basket as well. So that way, whoever wins it, they have incentive to come back and visit you even more.
Yeah.
Third,
That was my
all
favorite
the
part, by the way. I texted that to my brother immediately. I was like, "We need
yeah,
you to
like
go."
you know what's funny is you will see them and they'll be like looking at you like I'm not interested at all. And then when you mention the $25 gift card, they start nodding along with you. It's like ethical bribery.
Yeah, which these days is like 3 cups of coffee.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So we're gonna put that in, and then I go also all the leads we collect we're gonna share with you just in case you don't have them in your list. And then what we do is at the end of the 2 weeks we're gonna pick out one name. That person's gonna win the whole basket, which is worth like $400 some. And then we also want to make sure everyone else feels like a winner. So we're gonna call all the rest of the leads and give them a free 2 week of training at our gym. And then lastly, a lot of the businesses we work with also want to put a business basket in our business where we have 250 plus families every single week coming in and out of, and they love supporting the businesses that we direct them to. So, what do you think? And then we just shut up. It's like it's no high pressure thing, and they're like, yeah, let's do it. And most of the time, they never give us a basket to put in our business, honestly. But I would say low end of leads we get from basket is 30, high end is 80. We've done 5 baskets in a month and come away with 250 leads. So our one of our part of our organic strategy is we want 5 baskets out a month. Okay, at different businesses, the square footage of the business makes a big difference as well. Like the first time we did it, I was like, trampoline park is going to crush, and I got like 3 leads, and it gets lost in the grand scope of things when you walk into it. So places that your target market goes to and has to wait. So kids barber shops, nail salons, ice cream parlors like crush. The Saturday Sunday breakfast spots do really well. Coffee places, smoothie
Nail salons,
shops.
I think you said, right?
Yeah, and I thought those were going to be terrible, honestly,
Yeah.
because I remember we used to put lead boxes at nail salon and we wouldn't get anything. But I think the thing is the basket we like put it in plastic, we put a bow on the top, we put signage out with it. Like it just stands out so much that I think it draws more attention than a crusty lead box.
And it's a QR code you have there, or they actually have a little piece of
No,
paper?
so we tested the QR code method. It did not work as well. We got about a third of the leads from it. And I think the reason is people scan it and they're like, oh, I'll just fill it out later. And then they never fill it out because life happens. Where the lead box almost creates urgency of them having to fill out name, email, phone number right there.
Yeah, I tell the school owners I work with the same exact thing with collecting waivers from schools or daycares and stuff like
Yep,
that. Like, listen, in a perfect world, it'd be QR code. I'm much rather
100%.
do that. I don't want to freaking transcribe, right? But or figure out that's a 0 or an O, or
Yep.
uh, but you'll just get more of them back. So I'd rather have that, rather have the higher volume.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
and what do you actually offer the leads when they come through? What's your offer?
We do a free 2 weeks. Free
Okay,
2 weeks and a
cool.
T-shirt is what we offer. Yeah.
And then do you try to enroll them in the first lesson or the first time they come
Yeah.
in?
Yeah. So we have the same sales system regardless of like what offer they come in on. It's always a first day enrollment, and then we have a 3 times, 2 time, and 1 time per week. And then when they enroll that day, we have unlimited 2 times, 1 time per week. But the way it's priced out is like super interesting. So we have 1 time per week is 189, 2 times is 199, 3 times is 329, or sorry, unlimited is 329. But when they enroll today, we give them the unlimited at the 2 time per week price, which
Okay, cool.
kills the 1 time per week, because who's going to pay $10 less per month
Right.
for only 1 time when they get unlimited for 199?
Right, but that's what you want. So
Yes, 100%.
yeah, we're experimenting now. I'll let you know how it goes. But I wanted like a first class ticket for our students. Like, what could they? You go buy a plane ticket to Europe. You can get economy for $500.
Yep,
You want to go first class, it's going to be $8,000, right? So what could
sure.
we actually offer our students? That's like a first class ticket for a small minority, but that's how the airlines make all their money, right? From
Yep.
business and first class. So we just created it. It's like I think it's like $850 a month, or maybe $900 a month. We're starting it. I think we're launching the second week of September, first week of September,
Nice.
offering only to a couple students.
Is it just like all inclusive? You get everything.
Yeah, all inclusive, you get everything, and like I'm sure we'll change things over time. But the things we have right now is like you get the first row in every single class. Um, you get like a special premium uniform. We're just buying like the nicest uniform we can find, like from
Yeah.
Century. They get anytime we get new merch, they get it. Any events they get for free. So any new merch, they just get it there like right away. They get a private lesson once a month. They get a group private lesson once a month. And then they can test for their black belt. I think it's like 6 months faster or something, or 9 months faster,
Okay.
because they're doubling up on their curriculum in those private lessons.
Got it. That makes
Um,
sense.
so yeah, like we'll see how it goes, but our goal is to like only have like 6 or 8 people do it, and we'll invite just specific people, and have them apply to be a part of it. And once they apply, then we'll go over like the pricing and stuff like that.
Sure.
But I think in the future, if it goes well, we'll offer it to people in the beginning, just so we have a high end option to make everything else
Yeah.
look kind of like how you have it, right?
No, that makes
Uh,
sense.
so we'll see how that goes. But I think that could be, if you turn one student, or let's say 6 students into 18, right? Because they're 3 times the value. Like that's a good
Yeah.
way to make more money and not have much more going on. So I want to ask you some rapid fire questions,
Let's go.
and we'll kind of go through quick, but you don't have to answer right away. You can take a couple seconds to think, and then you'll answer them. Cool.
Sounds good.
So who would be on your martial arts Mount Rushmore?
Ooh. So 4 people. Yes.
Yeah, 4 people.
God, that's a good question.
Besides me.
Are we talking business or just martial
No, 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 no.
artists?
Martial arts business. It could be
Like
anyone,
all of
martial
it?
arts field. Yeah, you can't
Got
say
it.
like Tony Robbins or something.
Of like, so, what's crazy is there's like a lot of people that have influenced the business side of the industry in a good way, but are horrible people. So I'm like, on the business side, I would put that person on, but as like character, I would not put them on. That's not
Yeah,
ever okay. Dave Kovar is absolutely up there for me.
100%.
I would not have been a martial arts instructor if it wasn't for seeing him teach a seminar for the
Yeah.
first time. So Dave Kovar is on there for sure. I would put God. Make me think super hard. This is not rapid fire at all.
Nah.
Let's see. I would put. I would throw personally for me Roland Osborne on there,
Okay.
because Kovar got me super interested in instructing, and then Roland, like at the age I was, I'm gonna make Roland sound really old right now. At the age I was, he was just like the cool instructor
Yeah.
that like I remember going through all the Millennium training stuff back in the day, and I was like, he made me want to like sort of like get to the next level of instructing. Mine, I'm also probably going to put Mike Chat on there,
Okay.
because Mike Chat was the first person I ever saw like do sport karate, and
Uh-huh.
I probably would have stopped martial arts if I didn't start doing like tricking and sport karate when I was younger.
Yeah.
I saw him at a tournament. I was like, "What? You can backflip in a form?" I'm like, "That's allowed. We can do that." And he was doing like the form to the Street Fighter sound effects, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" So I think that would be another one for my personal. Um, let's see, and then we got one more. I would put. All right, this is a strange one. I left field. Rod Tang, who's a Muay Thai fighter.
Okay.
He fights in one championship. They call him Iron Man because the dude will just like he'll punch himself in the face in the middle of a match. Uh,
Okay.
when I saw him fight live for the first time, and I'd already been doing like Muay Thai training and stuff. But when I saw him fight live, it made me want to go do a fight, and made me like train 10 times harder just watching him. So I would put Rod Tang up there as well.
So
Probably the
now you're
most
just
random Mount Rushmore.
so now you're just punching your face, punch yourself in the
And
face, and reading the Bible out loud, like.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. What's one what's one martial arts weapon that we should get rid of?
There's a lot. Commas. And I used to
Commas?
compete
Really? They're
commas.
so cool.
I used to love competing commas, but like as far as like where are you gonna find a comma nowadays? Where
Yeah.
where like someone's
Okay.
attacking you, you're like, got it, ready to go.
Yeah.
That's
Because
the that's the only reason though. That's like
yeah. Okay. That's
I
fair.
compete with commas. I used to like doing all the tricks with them and stuff, but
So you're
probably
saying
comma. Tom, yeah, Tomfas are a little outdated now too, though. Yeah,
yeah? I would say Tonfas,
or
but
size. Where are you finding a size?
that's true. But it's like at least it's like a bent piece of metal. Maybe you find that on the side of the street somewhere. I feel like nunchuck you'll never find anywhere.
Yeah, but like a belt, you can sort of use like a nunchuck.
Okay. Okay. I
But
hear that.
yeah,
I hear that. What's one style of martial arts that you would not want to train in?
Tai Chi.
Tai Chi. Okay, too
Like
slow. Or?
nothing against. Yeah, it just like I feel like I fall asleep easy as it is. Like put a movie on and I'm out. You have me like move that slow for that long. I'm probably and also my ADD is gonna kick in. I'm like let me
Mm,
punch something.
mm. If you had like a magic wand and like when you had a client in front of you, let's a martial arts school, if you could like wave that magic wand and get them to understand like one concept, what would that one concept be?
You are the success of your business. So like it to me, if you don't have personal alignment, like business alignment is really really hard to have. And most business problems are personal problems that creep into your business anyway. So I think for them to understand that, like, hey, I need to make sure I have my ducks in a row. I'm working on my own growth. I'm doing my morning routine, my anchor habits, all this stuff. All of that is going to carry over into the business by default. And when your team sees you constantly working on yourself and constantly pushing yourself to grow, it just inspires them to want to do the same.
Good answer. Um, you've obviously had certain partnerships not work out, right?
Yeah,
So, what's one red flag you look for going forward in a business partnership?
red flag. Ooh, well, character is a giant red flag. If their values don't align with my values, or we have like completely different sets of values, that's always going to be a problem down the road because there's going to come some decision where they're going to choose, like, all right, it, money is not the number one thing for me. Like making an impact is the number one thing for me. So if I have to choose something that is going to make a ton of money, but the result is worse experience, less impact, or I can make a little less money, provide a better experience, and have a greater impact or greater reach, like I'm always going to go with that. Um, where if their values are totally aligned with money, that's not always going to be the best decisions like for the company. Yes, we always keep the eye on profit all the time, but like there's just some decisions that profit is a byproduct of you just doing the right thing.
Mm,
So I
okay,
think
cool.
that also if they don't want to agree to put in an exit clause in the partnership, that's a red flag too.
Okay. Do you feel the same way about prenups?
No, that's different.
No,
Like,
different. Okay.
yeah, like I know if I don't have my wife, I'm screwed anyway. So I'm like,
Well, it's too late for that anyway. But I'm just just
yeah,
curious.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
No.
So how do you structure an exit clause? How does that work?
Well, you both agree on it, but like, so my last business partner, I had one, and it was, hey, when it comes time for us to part ways, we're gonna both agree on a third party evaluator to use, and then whatever that evaluator comes back with is what we go with. Like regardless if they come back, unless we both disagree with it, but if they come back and one of us agrees with it, we have to go with it. So, and that worked out super easy for splitting up the last partnership I had. It's like, then there's no pressure on me or the other person. The evaluations come in, and it's like, all right, that's what we agreed to based on what we have written in the clause.
Okay, very cool. I like that. What's your favorite late night snack?
Ooh, cereal.
Oh, that's me too. That's my
Yeah,
favorite dessert, probably, is cereal.
and
What's cereal?
I've been really good about not eating cereal like the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, which has been super helpful to my physique and working out. But yeah, it's always cereal.
What's your cereal?
So we don't keep like sugary cereal. I think probably the cereal with the most sugar in our house is Frosted Mini Wheats.
Okay.
So that's usually my go-to. But back in the day, it was like Lucky Charms, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, all the classics.
Have you tried any protein cereals? I literally just did a whole video on it. Did you see it?
Yeah, so I did keto for like a few years. So
Yeah.
I was doing all of those. It just the flavor is so artificial to me in those, and a lot of them.
Have you had them
There's some
recently, though?
decent
There's been,
ones.
like, some advancements.
Yeah, I had them not too long. Probably this year I've had them.
Oh, okay.
Like the Magic Spoon and like those
Magic
ones.
Spoon, gross. Terrible.
Yes, I agree. Maybe I need to try some different ones though. But we do like protein pasta and stuff anytime we cook pasta at the house.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll have to check out some better protein cereal maybe.
I'll send it. Did you see the video I made on it?
No.
I'll send it to you. But I
Yeah,
basically
send it to me.
I bought every one you could buy in the market and tested them all to see which one I
All
because I
right,
love
I'm in.
cereal too. And I was like, okay, well,
Same.
what's a little less guilty I could have at night? What would be your walkout song if you were a UFC fighter?
So it would change because I walked out to a Puff Daddy and Biggie song.
Okay,
And
you
that was
can't do
before
that
all
now.
the stuff with Diddy happened. I
Yeah.
walked out to Victory, which is like a super hype song. Now, if I walked out to a song for a fight, it would be "Lethal Industry" by Tiesto. That's what Patty Pimblett walks out to.
Oh,
That
okay.
song,
Nice.
that song is amazing.
Do you still watch? Do you watch a lot of UFC?
Yeah, I watch a majority of them. Randy, who's my striking coach, is like Jared Cannonier's striking coach, and Mario Batista, and he's got a ton of up and comers right now. So I'm always watching and just cheering on the guys that are training at the same gym.
See, you're lucky because you're West Coast, so it goes on at somewhat a normal time. I can't watch it
Yes.
anymore. I stopped because I can't stay up
Yeah.
late. It's
When I
too
was
hard.
East Coast, we would fall asleep before the last fight usually.
Yeah, if it's East Coast, it's like it doesn't even go on the main fight till like at least 11:30 midnight, and
Yeah,
I
I agree.
literally can't stay up. Well, thank you for coming on here. I know we had a
Yeah,
lot of
man.
different topics today, so many
No,
different
we were
things.
all over the place. It was great though.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on here. If someone wants to reach out to you about maybe they have a fitness franchise or maybe they're interested in ad management or consulting or whatever, how they find you.
Yeah, it's every social platform. It's the same. It's Adam Kifer. Last name is Kif as in Frank ER. Just reach out to me. I'm happy to have a conversation.
And he wants you to follow him on TikTok because he's trying to grow his TikTok.
Yes, I am trying. I feel like I'm starting to crack through a little bit, but it's been a process.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. My name is Matthew Brenner. You can find me at wdojo.com or on Instagram at blackbeltbrenner1 or Matthew Brenner on Facebook. Thank you guys for listening. Bye, guys.
Thanks.